What's small always has a higher rate of growth, and so is right now the biotech industry. The biotech industry in India is right now somewhere around $80 billion. And in the next 5 to 7 years, it's going to touch $300 billion. And that means the rate of growth is more than 250%. And if the rate of growth is more than 250%, then anybody who is associating themselves to this particular industry is going to grow 250%. Now, let us talk about you. Yes, you. You're trying to get started into the industry. And today you are confused which way to go, which way to choose. And that is why I'm making this video, to make a complete, give you a clear-cut picture, a Google map kind of a stuff, or a navigational map, so that you know when to do what and achieve success. Now, very important thing for all of you to know is, whatever I say that you should be doing at that particular level, it's not necessary that you should have done it. Whenever you plan to do it, you can always do it. Okay, so it's not that it is necessary to do this in bachelor's, do this in master's. You can always mix and match. That's something which you should know. However, I'm just trying to benchmark things so that if you are in bachelor's, you should have done these things. If you are in master's, you can always do these things. So this is how I'm going to highlight. Now, the first things first, as soon as you get into the bachelor's after 10+2, so this is a professional course. The expectation from you is to transition from a student to a professional. That's why this is a vocational degree. Very importantly, whether you are getting into your bachelor's with an entrance exam or without entrance exam does not matter. Yeah, you must get into a college which has got a solid lab so that you can do practicals, because half of the day, I think 70% of your day should be spent in practicals and labs. However, they don't allow that much. They'll definitely allow around 50% of your coursework as lab work, right? So in the bachelor's degree, what you should be doing, first things first, if you are right now in bachelor's, and even if you're in master's and you've not figured out, you should still look for passion profession fit or passion exploration. So you are just getting started, you have like 7 subjects or 6 subjects, find out which subjects you love the most, okay? And then cross match whether this subject will have growth in the future or not. Say biochemistry, cell biology, molecular biology. So broad subjects you have to choose. So, and if you have any dilemma about that, you can always reach out to me at shekhar@biotechnica.org. So that's one thing, passion exploration you have to do during your bachelor's, right? Now, the second thing is, if you get a chance, right? Although your college will keep you busy, but still, if you get a chance, please do internship. Now, whether it is an offline hands-on internship or an online virtual internship does not matter, as long as you're learning. Now, I'm glad to tell you that Biotechnica now provides offline hands-on internship in 5 cities, and we also provide online virtual hands-on to all those students who cannot go to these 5 cities, okay? So that's something which you should know. So yeah, internship is something which you can do during your bachelor's, like summer breaks or winter breaks. You can always reach out to companies, startups, as well as labs to do your internship. Now, very important thing here is to get a knack of how things are done, okay? Like hands-on. Like I'll tell you, when I started my lab work, I'll never be right. Like all my data will be bogus, all will be garbage, and the teacher will really yell at me. But slowly I started progressing. Slowly I understood how things are done, how you have to do, when you have to do. And there is an art and science behind lab work. It is not that everybody can do it, but if you pay attention, you can do it definitely. So you should get a knack of hands-on during your bachelor's, because when you get a knack of hands-on, you will arrive at 2 conclusions. The first is, okay, I can live a life like this, that I love going to lab. And the second will be, I hate lab. So if you hate lab, you can go to dry lab job. So it is very important to determine this, your love affair for a wet lab or a dry lab during your bachelor's, okay? Because later on you can't change your field. So you should decide now itself, okay? Now, the next very important thing is, bachelor's is nothing but foundation. So you have to build solid theoretical knowledge. So basically, I will categorize the bachelor's degree as a building phase or a build phase, okay? So there are 3 phases to your career: build, grow, and then specialize. So this is the building phase. So you're building the foundation of the future career building, okay? So that's something we have to know. Now, once you have finished your bachelor's, you need to get into master's. Now, there are 2 to 3 exams you will have to write. You may have to write. Otherwise, without writing exams also, you can go into a master's. Now, that will be GAT-B, IIT JAM, as well as CUET PG. Now, CUET PG has been recently started, and we are conducting a webinar also. You can watch that recording if the date has already passed. So, yeah, CVT, GATB, and IIT JAM. Any of these three you can write and you can get into your masters. Otherwise, you can directly pay the capacitation fees or the donation, whatever they ask, and you can directly get into the masters. Now, once you are in the masters, that is the phase where you have to do advanced hands-on now, not just hands-on, advanced hands-on. So now is the time to grow your career. You have built the foundation. Now is the time to grow your career. So do advanced hands-on. Now start doing temporary projects or projects like contractual projects in various government labs and publish papers, right? So while you're still in a master's, you publish paper and agreed that if in case your college is not allowing you to do any kind of lab work, you can always reach out to Biotechnica. We can provide you wet lab hands-on training at your convenience in your city of choice. So that's something which we master at. So during a master's, you have to do this. So I also urge a lot of students that by now you would have realized, okay, this is my passionate subject. So I should do more specialization in this. So you can do certifications, you can do some internship on that particular subject. Okay, so that's the your masters. Now, when you are doing your masters, you have to also prepare for certain entrance exams like CSIR, NET or GATE. Now, these entrance exams will help you get into your PhD, which is the next level. Now, many students discontinue studies after MSc and they go for a job. There is no problem with that. You can always do. But many students come back to me and ask, should I go for a job or should I do a PhD? You should know this. PhD you cannot do after a certain age limit, that is 28 for males and 33 for females. As well as for reserved category, it is 33. But see, job you can do any day, right? But once this date passes, 28 years for males and 33 years for females, now you cannot do PhD with a fellowship. So you have to depend on your parents to pay the 6 years of PhD fees, which will be huge, and there'll be a lot of expenditure, right? So why do you want to do that? So if you want to become a scientist, doing PhD with a fellowship makes sense. However, if you do not want to become a scientist, you can always stop that. If your passion is dry lab or science journalism or clinical research, something which is not hardcore research, which is offbeat, biotech, you can always do, or entrepreneurship, you can always do after masters. However, I will still suggest, please do your masters. That's very, very important. Now coming to the next part where you specialize. So our first part was build. The next part was grow. Now it is specialize. Now how do you specialize? Of course, you do a PhD, right? But PhD is not a course. Very important thing you should know. PhD is not at all a course. PhD is a job. You're being paid, so it's a job. You're getting salary, right? So what's the job? The job is to do things which has never been done. The job is to do under the guidance of PI, but still the PI won't guide you 100%. You have to do things on your own. You have to do your own data analysis. You have to collect your own samples. You have to go and collaborate with other labs wherever the machines are available. So a lot of things. So you have to do your research for 3 to 5 years, and then you have to do your thesis work, and then you have to make sure that it is all plagiarism free, and then you defend your thesis and get your PhD. Now, while you're doing your PhD, you should attend a lot of conferences. You should try to participate in these conferences and network, very important, network on LinkedIn as well as in these conferences, so that you build connections with a lot of people and you can reach out and get things done by them, right? And the next part will be attend a lot of workshops. Ultimate, as many workshops as you can do it, whether it is offline or online, doesn't matter. Online is easy and reachable. That's where something which I would prefer if I was you. But yeah, online or offline, do attend a lot of conferences and workshops, because you get to meet a lot of people whom otherwise you would not have met, and then that's how you reach out to people and win the universe, right? So my point to you is, network, and then while you're networking, who knows, you will land up into a job interview, and that's the next step. So before you get a scientist position in any of the labs, you will have to go for a job interview. Now, my suggestion is, start with a small lab, which is a small startup, small company, but it is in the area of your interest. Apply there, start working there. You'll get selected easily. You'll gain experience of the corporate job also. And generally, bigger pharma and biotech companies will select candidates who have experience. So you have done a PhD, now you have experience in a startup. That's where the big pharma companies will easily take you in. So this is your entire Google map of your entire career. But however, there are many offbeat careers which exist, for which you don't need to do a PhD. And for that, probably you will have to watch another video, because this one was only for those who want to become a scientist in the future. So this is a straightforward career line for all of you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. However, if you want a personalized attention and opinion from me, you can always write to shekhar@biotechnica.org. At Biotechnica, we firmly believe that each student out there is the scientist of tomorrow, is the savior of this world in the future pandemic. And that is why I made this video. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye.